you're here today to talk about our stitching and other stuff with us. Today's July 4th, 2021, and it's super different than last July 4th for us. And for you too, probably. Huh?
No, we
kind of did the same thing last
year. We got together. We had our family got together,
and we got together with a few friends, but even then we just were still feeling so cautious that we didn't.
I mean, what's different is that I went to the store, a couple of stores today, and the cashiers don't have to wear masks anymore in these stores. So it felt like even more normal.
There were no signs. We had to run into our Target today to pick up a couple things, and there were no signs anywhere on the doors about masks or COVID warnings or anything. It was so interesting.
Really? I went to...
Some people was still masked.
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember if we had any register, like cashiers without them. I didn't really notice.
I think the Target I went to yesterday didn't have any signs. No, they did. Maybe Hobby Lobby didn't have any signs up. And by the way, anybody that wants to know, Joann's has their DMC on sale for 45 cents. I don't know how long it lasts. I don't know if it's just today or if it's today and tomorrow.
Shoot.
Yeah. I didn't know that till I got there today.
They're open on the 4th of July. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll be running in there after our barbecue that we're going to.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, I had my surgery and I am recovering. It's just mostly kind of a scar at this point. It doesn't really look like an incision, but where the stitches were is all red and irritated. And I just thought I wouldn't subject you to have to stare at that the whole time that we're recording, but you can probably tell my voice is still affected. It's stronger. The last 3 days, probably it's felt stronger. I still don't have very much pitch range. When they do the surgery to remove the thyroid, they have to go right by the nerve that innervates the vocal folds. I know all about this because I'm studying to retake my exam to get my license for speech therapy. But anyway, they have to kind of shove that nerve out of the way to remove the thyroid gland. And it's really common, I think, to have some vocal changes that they're almost always temporary. I think 1% of people have ongoing problems, but I'm not too worried about it. I feel like when I first got home, I was having a hard time swallowing thin liquids like water and stuff. I would have to sip tiny sips out of a straw for like a few days, or else I would kind of cough and choke. But that's come back. I still prefer to drink out of a straw, partly because the angle of drinking kind of puts pressure on it's kind of all still swollen, and so I'm sipping out of a straw today. But I haven't really choked on anything for.
That's good.
So that's good. Yeah. So that makes me feel like, and my voice is a little louder than it was, just a little stronger.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm having hope that it won't be too long. But anyway, I got several messages that you were praying for me and thinking of me. So thank you so much for your kindness, and it went really well and everything was benign. So that's really great news. So I'm basically just home free once I've just finished recovering here. I'll be on thyroid hormone for the rest of my life, but once they kind of get that adjusted to the right levels based on my weight and everything, then hopefully it will just be fairly easy to manage. That's what everybody says. So
yeah.
Thank you so much. And thank you to Mom for coming over and helping.
During the hottest.
It was pretty hot.
Ever.
We looked at the like temperature readings, the like weather forecast, and we were hotter that day than like Dallas and I forget the other 2 cities in the Southwest have ever been. Like we were hotter that day than they have. We were setting records for them. And I don't think of, like, we're hot here, but Washington, even where we live, it gets hot, but we've never had anything that I can remember while living here that's over 106.
Yeah.
So
when I got home on Sunday from her house to Seattle. Well, we're south of Seattle and we're a little farther away from the Puget Sound, so our weather is usually hotter than Seattle and cooler than Seattle in the winter. And Monday we hit 106. Seattle has never hit 106, or our area. I don't know what. I think even Seattle proper hit close to that. It was insane. I went outside. I was working at my desk, and I thought it kind of hit 106 like at about 3 p.m. I was kind of watching my weather app. I thought I should just go outside and see what 106 feels like. I don't know. I think I put it on Instagram, or maybe I did it to somebody text, but I just said I wasn't impressed. And it didn't really feel any hotter to me than 100, because once the temperatures get into the 90s for me, I'm pretty much miserable. and Sarah's heat is dry. And it's stifling at times, but when I got home on Sunday to close to 100 degrees here, the humidity just hit me like a wall. And it wasn't even, it's like 30% humidity, which isn't huge. It's not like it's raining, but 30% humidity when it's that hot is just icky. So we're in I think we're only gonna be in the 70s today, but our wedding is next week. Not my wedding, but my son's gonna be 86 degrees.
We have
Which
some,
is a little warmer than I wanted, but I'll take it over rain.
we have some little flower girls who are really excited to get and be in the wedding. So we'll probably add pictures in a later of them all in their pretty dresses. And yeah, so we're moving right along. Yeah. It's already July, which is crazy.
Yeah. So anyway, happy 4th to all of our American friends.
Yep.
And I think Canada Day was earlier. I have on Friday or Saturday, but I wish you all the best also.
We have one little girl who wants to share today. And she's currently stitching right now behind me. So are you going to come over and show or not? We'll just wait a minute here. Let's see what else. Oh, I did a ton of stitching because I was just sitting around while everybody else was taking care of me. So
I did not do a ton of stitching.
But I'll make up for your lack with all mine.
I didn't do a ton the week before her surgery. I didn't do a ton the week of her surgery, and I didn't do a ton this week because I've just been working on the house and doing errands in my free time, getting everything. I felt like, I just have to do the groom's dinner, but I always forget. I like to decorate for that, and it's a little more work than in my head it was just going to be, got a pizza truck coming, it's going to be easy, but there's a little more to it. So yeah, I've been focused on that mostly, but I did do some stitching, and I got my plan ready for after the wedding.
This child over here has to finish something before she comes and shows. Okay, well, she's taking time. I have a previous finish. I'll show it now.
Oh yeah.
So I finished this last year, and it was a little kit, a Lizzie Kate kit. I don't even remember what it's called. It might be just called that. It was like one of the little ones that comes in a CD case.
Mm-hmm.
No, this one might have been in a bag because this whole thing was with it. It was like, not the stick. The stick is from my yard, but the buttons.
Cute.
And I just love it. It's been hanging on I have like a little farmhouse, I don't know, washboard thing. I got a Hobby Lobby with a couple little hooks or, knobs it just hangs right on there. I've had it up all spring, and I decided to just keep it up. I haven't
perfect for summer too.
Done a great job on decorating from spring, but I'm kind of letting there be a little overlap because I just love this one so much.
Yeah.
I really think it's true. I really love having more and more friends. I just feel like circles can get bigger and bigger, and some people are really fine with just one friend or two friends, but I love getting to know new people, and I do like to gather friends like flowers. It's time. If you're gonna show, it's time.
Come on, you're holding us up, Millie Bird.
Yeah, Millie is working on. I'm just gonna do it for her. Millie is working on this still. The frosted. Happy spring. That cute kitty cat.
Cute.
You're so close to me, Dominic.
Nice job.
It always says spring.
Do you have the bee still to do on the bottom? Yeah, you have a few things left. But really,
and a couple more. Is it a honeycomb on the bottom too?
They're are they honey sticks maybe?
Oh, they're little honey, like you twirl the honey on it.
Honey, yeah. Honey pot.
Call those?
Call them honey twirlers.
I don't know what you call them. There's probably a name.
Good job, Millie.
Everybody here is making fun of my voice. Not as much now, except for Millie. I'll be trying to get somebody's attention, and I'm yelling. That's as loud as I get. Good job, Millie. Okay. What? No, okay, not everybody. Mostly just my husband. Mostly just Daddy.
Such a guy.
Did you have something to share? Did you just want to come say hi? You can just come say hi. Just show off your cute braids.
Hi.
This is Liddy. Oh, that was. You're new watching us. These are my kids, and that's my mom on the other part of the screen. Liddy, she's how old? 11 now. and acting every bit of 11. And they get to go on a giant slip and slide later today. So
Fun. Good, good.
bye.
Good to see you. I like your braids.
Bye. Adios. I love you.
Bye, Millie.
Okay. Don't close the door, but just shut it a little bit. Okay. Let's
Somebody
do.
else is kind of acting like a preteen too, I'm sorry to say.
I know. Well, she is 10. I guess that's moving towards preteen.
Mm-hmm.
So we do have a featured friend today. And today, I think we might have one more after this. So if you want to send us in something, I'm just doing them in the order that I received them, something that you're stitching or that you've finished or whatever. And we like a little show and tell here. So we can share other people's stitching and just kind of gather friends like flowers.
Stitching at the Cabin does the same thing, so we'll give them a shout out too.
Okay, from them. So thanks, guys.
Mm-hmm.
So this one was sent to us by Kendra, and her handle on Instagram is Kendra Makes. And Kendra's little girl won one of our very first giveaways, like last year sometime. And I'm gonna ask Kendra, if you're watching, when she's finished, I would love to do a featured friend for her finish, because that would be so sweet. So she said, so she sent over, this is called Responsible Woman by James Christensen. And I'm gonna put it right here, a picture. That was stitching it at the same time. I kind of feel like there were two people that would post it, and I every time like, wow, that's stunning. So she said, I'm including a picture of my last finish. This is a Heaven and Earth Designs piece using the artwork Responsible Woman by James Christensen, which he made to pay up. Is it homage or homage? I don't know.
I call it homage.
To his wife. I started this last fall, and it felt like a fitting companion through a long, cold winter that was really made worse by the isolation of stay-at-home orders through most of it. I think she's in Northern Canada too, right?
Who?
Kendra. I'm pretty sure she
might be, yeah. Yeah, I think she is. For some reason, I think in my head for a long time, I thought she was in Ohio. I don't know why I thought she was in Ohio.
I think she's in Canada. I feel like way north. As a mom of young kids with a very hardworking but busy husband who is pastoring and in seminary, stitching each component felt like affirmation of the roles and responsibilities of mothers everywhere. That's a little cheesy, she said, but it really does feel like a special piece that I'm happy to have completed it. It is the no background version of the pattern that I stitched 1/1 on 25 count even weave that I dyed to reflect the gradient of the original background. Which if she dyed that, I'm guessing that means she didn't use the gridded fabric.
Yeah, I'm looking at it on my phone, the actual pattern. It has trees, like tree tops that her foot comes close to touching as she's flying.
Yes, I have seen somebody else stitching that. That's why I was thinking, I think I've seen that one.
Yeah, and then the Heaven and Earth Designs pattern cover has it kind of a blue, kind of a darker blue, lighter blue into an indigo kind of purple. And that's, but my gosh, I'm looking at it up close again. She's got a baby up here. I didn't notice the baby.
Yeah, I know. There's like all those little tiny, not motifs because they're all part of the same picture, but she's holding all these different things. It's such
I know, Kendra, that is a massive amount of stitching. There's a dog up there. Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's
so beautiful.
I'm having a hard time.
That'll be a good memory piece for years and years and years to come.
Yeah, I would think you would look back on that and always feel that. Just a lot of different emotions, probably.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's really meaningful when you stitch and a piece becomes something like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Kendra.
Yeah, thanks for sending that in. And again, if anybody else has something, even if you've done it before, just shoot it in our email.
Again, we all know you have more than one piece going.
Yeah.
Well,
You might not, but you should.
most of you should. Sorry, I'm stiff.
Share your whips.
Oh, guys, I've just been on the struggle bus. My whips, basically for the last, I don't know, 2 weeks, because we Flosstube right before your surgery, and I showed what I had done the week before. Basically, I have been working on my biscornu. I did that not this week, but a lot at Sarah's house. So it's the Little Dove's design. It's Little Dove design. Hold on.
In our last video from 2 weeks ago, I linked them in the description box. I may do, I usually copy and paste, so I'll leave another link there.
Yeah. Summer Bee. My needles cast.
Oh, you've gotten far.
So I basically need to repeat this here.
And then another.
Oh, up here, I mean, up here. I got to finish this and then do it one more time up here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sarah so wisely pointed out to me that those are not leaves, they are trees because they have trunks.
Well, she kept saying, I'm about to start another leaf. And I was thinking, where are the leaves? What's she talking about? Then I realized she meant the trees. And I was like, oh, are they leaves? I thought those were trees.
I don't know where my head is half the time anymore. Anyway, so moving along on that. Oh, I was scrolling through Etsy. I just put in cross stitch biscornus on Etsy the other night and just kept scrolling and scrolling because, you know, we're going to do a stitch along.
Yep. In August, I guess I better buy a biscornu pattern. Maybe I can find one in a magazine that I already have or something.
Might be able to. And like I said, Little Doves has a ton.
Yeah, I should just look.
Okay. My other piece that I'm not done with for the month of June is my Joyful World. And that's basically all I've worked on.
Oh.
I've got this bear. And
and the tree. But you did a lot on it because last time you showed it, you just had the flowers and maybe the beehive.
Yeah, you're right. I did the tree, all of this tree, I think at your house, and then started the bear. I've got some bees to do here and another blue flower and then the ground. But I really want to get it done so I could start July because July is the pink flamingos and I love them. Anyway, so I am still working on it. I do still love it. I just, like last night, I would have stayed up later to work on it, but we got a late start watching TV. We went out to dinner with friends and then we sat down and Carrie and I were both tired. And about 11 o'clock, he goes, I'm going to bed. I'm tired. And I said, I'm going to bed too. Now, normally I would have stayed up and stitched, but I just didn't have it in me. So things will go down by the middle of July, I think, and then I'll have more stitching. And I probably, I don't think I did anything else at your house and really just continued on. Okay, so I actually I did do some knitting when I was at Sarah's. And I think because knitting is a comfort thing for me, whereas cross stitch is not a comfort thing. And so several years ago, I started a scrap blanket called the Northeasterly. The pattern is by Skenanigans and she's on Ravelry. It's not a great picture, but it's a chevron. You make chevron stripes and attach them as you go. And I'm doing mine in fingering weight. And I have a sweet friend, she and I do mini swaps and we do little mini skeins of our yarn leftovers for each other. And so I hadn't worked on it for a while and I kind of made a few mistakes when I did pick it back up and I spent several sessions fixing my mistakes, but this is my blanket so far.
So pretty.
It's just that long. I mean, it's not, they obviously have a long way to go. I'm just gonna make a throw blanket, not a bed blanket. But it's all different fingering weight yarns. And I tried a different method of joining my new yarn on the wrong side of it was easier to do on the wrong side, but you get a broken stripe and I don't like that. So I won't do that again, even though I sometimes run into trouble when I do it the other way, but I just have to get better at it. So here it was, triple digits over at Sarah's, and I'm sitting in an air-conditioned bedroom knitting on a wool blanket, which didn't make any sense, but it's what I haven't worked on it probably at all this last year, maybe a little bit off and on, but not much. And so all of a sudden I was like, that's what I want to work on. I want to work on that blanket. It's easy, it's mindless, except for that join. Just a second. And then the other thing Sorry, I'm catching my yarn in my zipper. Other thing I worked on was Junie's sweater, and I got the second sleeve done. So I now have 2 sleeves.
Aw.
And I just need to do the part that I'm dreading the most, which is picking up the stitches to do the button band. Anyway, I am pretty in love with it, and it's going to fit her perfectly, I think, in the fall.
Sweet.
When she needs a sweater. This is part silk, part alpaca, I think, but I love the little ribbed cuffs.
So soft.
It is really soft, and they'll be really nice when I block it and really get it nice looking. So that I did do quite a bit of knitting, actually. I knit in the car going to Sarah's and coming home from Sarah's, and so yeah, I guess I wasn't totally unproductive. So on to you.
I will try to be loud. I am sorry if I'm really soft and mom is loud. I'm like doing the best I can, so hopefully it won't be like this for very long.
I'll tone it down.
I'll be loud. So I'll just show my knitting first too. I am able to like watch TV and cross stitch or knit, but I have a friend who had a baby in the fall and I wanted to make her a sweater, but I didn't have time to really do a newborn sweater because Penny was born and Junie was born, my nieces, around the same time. So I've been wanting though to do one for her because I don't know, it's special to me. And then she had this baby boy. I've known her a long time. So I am working on this pattern by Georgie Nicholson called Ziggy. It's called Ziggy and you can find it on Ravelry. So I'm using yarn I just got at Hobby Lobby. I forget what it is. I don't think I have the label with me. I have another skein of it. So if you're really curious, you can ask me. But this is it. I think it's like an acrylic. It might just be straight acrylic because I wanted it to be easy to watch.
Yeah.
I finished the sleeves and I was able to make them match with the striping, which I was very proud of because I don't know if I've ever really
done that
before.
Fun. It's a fun accomplishment when you do it.
Yeah, it just felt like, oh, look what I did. And then I started on the sweater bodice. So it's knit from the bottom up and you can see the zigzag pattern in it already.
Yeah.
So I think it's about 8 inches before I join the sleeves. I'm probably about 3. So I have a ways to go. And then as you can see in the picture, I am going to do the hood option. There's an option to leave off the hood and do a collar, but I think that hood is going to make the sweater. I think sweaters are so cute on little ones. So that's my knitting, but I did do a lot of cross stitching too. Because lucky me, I just got to lay around a lot. So I'm just going to grab them in the order that I have them in the pile. And this first one I've been working on for a while. I'm trying to remember if this was a Mania start last year, and maybe it was. Do you remember this? It's from this book, Cross Stitch.
Yeah.
And I cannot remember if it was a Mania start. Here is the picture. Maybe there it is. Here's the full finish. It's called Toile Sampler, and it's by Laura Holtorf Collins. Shown this a long time because
that was not a Mania start because you bought the fabric when we came down and went to Kennewick.
That's right. So I don't know if I just really liked it.
You started it right away because you were in love with it.
I just loved the blue on the white. And I think it looked so wintry and I really want it for like January because I do a lot of blue and white decorating in like kind of cold and ice. So this week trying to remember what I've done since I showed it. I think the rabbits are new. Those little hearts on the bottom. Yep. And then I started these snowflakes up here. I think that, and I do think I finished the base of this. I think that might not have been done last time of this house. I'm missing, I just forgot to do 3 stitches in that lighter blue color. So I need to go back and do that. But it just uses 3 colors of DMC. And I think it's turning out so pretty on this bright white. And I kind of think I might finish it into a little pillow. Like a throw pillow that I can put on the couch. I just think it would look really pretty on my gold colored couches. So that's one thing I worked on. This one isn't really that exciting to show, but I'll show it because I worked on it. I have been working on this Fresh from the Garden by Little House Needleworks. And the last time I showed it, I had done the word cabbage in this lighter color up here, this variegated thread. I didn't like how it looked, so I pulled it out and used it, the DMC that I've used along here, and I put the cabbage back in. So
I like that. I think you want your words to show up.
Yeah, it just wasn't popping off the fabric like Yeah, it should have been. And in the original picture, they don't really super pop either. But I think
Mhm.
I think it looks better that way.
Well, especially because you're on that green fabric.
Yeah, it was just really blending in too much for the word. So
Yeah.
I didn't do a lot on that, but it was still an accomplishment to frog that and to rip that out and put it back in.
Uh-huh.
I have been also, as Mom knows, working on this, which you are also stitching. And
Sometimes I'm stitching it, sometimes
I have been working on this portion of it right here.
I do want to work on it.
Here, and then I did up here. So I'll show you where I'm at. I pretty much finished, I think almost finished all those. Actually, let me put this behind it. I think it'll help stabilize it if nothing else.
So pretty.
It's on even weave and I love it. So I finished pretty much all these flowers. There's some beads and I think I'm missing a few stitches, but I think for the most part it's all just fill in this color, this dark blue.
Yeah.
It's almost all just filled in down to her. So
is it blue down behind those flowers then?
Yeah, I think so.
Solid, yeah.
I think it's pretty much, yeah. I think I have a couple more leaves I need to put in actually, some dark.
Oh my gosh, Sarah, you're almost done.
No, I really am. I just have like this and then the white and this light blue and then all the border. And her sheeps. I do have to do it. But other than that, I'm getting really close.
Yeah.
She's kind of my comfort stitch, which is funny. Yeah. Partly, especially now that it's such a big block, it's just fill in. So.
Yeah. It's already gotten easier for me since I got through some of that stuff. I mean, her dress is still a little bit of a pain, but it's getting easier.
That border probably won't be a comfort stitch for me. It's kind of colored stuff.
I look at that and don't even see a border. No border.
It does.
There could not be a border on mine.
You have to do that border because it's so cute, though. I love it so much.
I will.
I worked on this Twilight Angel from Gold Collection Petites. I worked on this last night. We watched that new movie that came out with Chris Pratt in it. It's like pure action flick called The Tomorrow War.
Is it good?
It was a pure action flick.
I like it a lot.
It's an A. It's kind of a reboot. I felt like a reboot of Independence Day. So if you like Independence Day from the 90s, and I feel like there's even a couple like nods to Independence Day, like, and it was fun like right before.
Okay.
So it might be a fun one to watch. It's not like.
Do you know he lives up here?
Well, they have a farm up here, but I don't know how much he lives up here. But yes,
I think he's there a lot actually because I follow him on Instagram.
They do have like a sheep farm up on one of the islands, I think, or something.
And he's married to Schwarzenegger's daughter.
Yeah, Catherine. Oh, I know. I follow him on Instagram. I don't follow that many celebrities, but for some reason, I just love him.
Yeah. I love him too.
And he'll post videos now and then of his sheep and
yeah.
Me up. So here's where I'm at with Twilight Angel. You can kind of see, so I'm working.
Put something behind him.
Okay.
I guess it's sure. To me, it looks.
Let me see.
I think it's just because of the recording. I can see it.
I'm having
a really
spot to record today. That's cool and has good light. So I did. This is part of the dress that's kind of swinging out, like
pretty.
And then this is her face, part of her face. So I worked on that last night.
She could be tiny.
She is really little. I mean, I guess that's why they call it petites. It's quite a bit of stitching for such a small piece of fabric. So I worked on that. That was a kit. So that's nice because all the threads are right there. I put them on a chipboard thing, like.
Yeah.
So one of my WIPCO goals last month was, that's not it, the Shores Hawk Run Hollow. So I've been working on this square for a while. I'm ready to be done with it now. But I don't know why it's taking me so long. I didn't work on this a ton while I was recovering because I like to have it. I like to have my light on, and I was up in my bedroom and didn't really have the light up there with me. Sorry, I have to pull it out. Because that's in my fancy storage bag. the bag with the fabric for the came in. That's what I'm using. So I have project bags. I just haven't transferred this one over into one. So I stitched all these little fish. I think I might have stitched this crab.
I think you did.
But I don't know, I might have done this in the last 2 weeks too. I'm not sure. But I definitely did all the fish. And I started this bigger fish that's up in the top, that brown and yellow one.
Mm-hmm.
That's what this guy is going to be. So I really just have that and then some seaweed down here and some fill-in dark blue stitches and black for the eyes and stuff. So I'm pretty close. I have 6 more hours on my June WIPO goal that I need to meet on this because I had this one called 2 months in a row. So I finished the 8 hours for May and then it was called again for June. And I only got about 2 hours of June done.
And we have to talk about WIPGO.
Well, you don't even have to talk about it, but
I do, but
I just am recording my time so that I know when I do it, I can cross it off.
I have no time to record.
You will again. And my other WIPGO piece for this last month was my Lore. And I think I have 3 hours. No, wait. I think I maybe have 3 hours on, let me check. Okay, actually I only have 3 hours left for the shores and I have 6 hours left on this one. Is this what it was called? No.
You've been working on that a lot.
This one was the one that was called twice in a row, wasn't it? Okay, so the shores one,
yes,
I didn't work on it as much. That was the first time it was called, but I didn't work on it as much because I was trying to finish up May's WIPGO hours for this one. So this is Kore, Ibadu Kore, Christmas tree. You like how I don't even try to say it anymore in a time? I've been trying to finish that darn house and I'm pretty close. I actually have kind of finished the house, but now I'm doing all the snow on top. Can you see it?
I can see it. Yeah. Just a lot of snow in that piece.
A lot of snow, a lot of white.
And a lot more to do.
Yeah, quite a bit more. So I have all of this snow to do. I'm going to do the words in a different color because the fabric I'm using is a lighter blue rather than a darker gray, which I like, but I just don't think the white shows up enough, especially for words. So I might do them like all in red or green, or I might even do them in that gold color for her hair. I don't know. I have to think about it.
Whatever looks pretty on that fabric, because it'll be a focal piece.
Really nice on it. And it might be nice to have a color other than red and green because the house is all red and then all the other side are all green trees.
Yeah.
Like, see how the capital letters are one color? Maybe I could do green or red with the other letters in gold or something. So that's that. Okay, 2 more. Told you I did a lot of stitching while I was down. I worked on, remember the picture. Posy gets what is she called? Posy? Alicia Paulson is what we usually call her. I worked on this one a little bit, a few evenings, and I know for sure some of it's new. I finished the outlining on the daffodil and started the yellow fill-in, but these two are different yellows, and I just didn't have the energy to pull out another yellow. So I filled in the green on the
Pretty.
I know it's a really sweet stitch. I think that sheep isn't going to be super fun to stitch because it's white, but once I do the outline and the little thing, it'll just all be fill in.
Yeah, it'll be easy.
White. Last one is a new one, and it kind of goes into my goals, but I'll just show this. And then, so for Jolly July, I decided to start a stocking for Jessie. I had picked out these. There's 2 different, trying to remember what the other one is called. I feel like they both might have cranberry in the title. From Rosewood Manor. I picked out, the other one is more like trees lined up, and I think I showed it in my haul a couple weeks ago. And I decided I would start this for Jolly July because I had most of the colors. It just calls for DMC. And look at this. This was an accomplishment. Look what I did. I put them all on bobbins.
I'm impressed.
And put them in numerical order. So now I really have an easy time finding. So I decided to try to do a tree every day of at least July. But really, if I did a tree every day until like November, I'd probably have it done. So this is how far I got. Just a few little trees. It's just a lot of scattered little trees.
Yeah.
But they're really cute, and there's a ton of beads. So I really don't think I'm going to get it done for this Christmas. But if I get it pretty close, then I'll be motivated, I think, to have it done.
The one you're making yourself got even more beads. Is that the one that's got all those beads and those trees?
No, I think this one might be.
Oh, yeah.
I think they both have a lot of beads. But see, like, look at this. That's like all those red things are beads. There's basically no red stitching hardly. A little bit, but hardly anything. Most of the red you see are dark brown.
There's beads.
All beads, which I have stitched a little bit with beads, but not like that. But I think I can do it. I think I'll be fine.
Oh, you can do it easy.
So that's kind of like plan-ish too, but that was my new start this month. And I'm just picking that to focus on for Jolly July. So there you go. That is everything I did this month. This 2 weeks anyway. It was a lot. But truly, like, I never just sit down in the middle of the day and stitch. So I was just letting myself, like, keep myself resting.
Well.
Okay, so what next? I'm scooting over a little so I can.
Plans? I had done my plans.
Plans? You did your plans already?
I have not done my plans.
Do your plans.
My plans are to, well, basically survive this next week and a half, and enjoy it. Survive it and enjoy it. It's just up to it. There's just so much to do, and it's overwhelming to me right now. A lot of moving pieces and a lot of moving people. Anyway, my plan was to, well, my WIPCO was a total fail last month. I was supposed to have done 6 hours on Sunflower Fairy by Nora Corbett and 6 hours on Hoity Toity by Long Dog Sampler. I did 0 on Hoity Toity, and I did a whopping hour and 45 minutes on Sunflower Fairy. So I need to get caught up on that. And then my new WIPCO numbers are my red cardinals, which is on Ada, which is easy, but I'm getting to a point where there's a lot of color changes and a lot of half stitches. And then Loose Feathers by Blackbird Design, which I think people pretty much know what that is. That's the 3 panels. I'll just show it really quick in case you're new and don't know. Each panel is a separate book, and I'm working on summer. And I have very little done. I started this a year ago on the summer solstice, and this is how far I've gotten this in a year. But that means I really do love it, and I will definitely try to make time for that. But I thought in a normal month, it'd be really easy to just zip right along and make up those WIPCOs, but because it's Jolly July, not so easy. So but my Jolly July, I made my plans. So Jolly July is going to be, I think I've got 3 weeks when things should settle down after the wedding left in July. So I'm going to work on my Mary and Minty, that's all I've gotten done, but I really want to get this piece done. It's so cute. So I'm going to work on that. And then I'm going to have a couple of new starts because I don't really have a lot of Christmas starts, or I don't stitch Christmas very often. But I decided that I was going to stitch a piece out of this, a piece out of this book that Sarah stitched out of last year for the girls. And I chose, and I went and got the floss for it today. I chose this sweet little, this one where the little kids are taking the tree.
I love that one.
Yeah. Let's see if I can get it to focus. And I might put a couple little trees around them from up above. Mm-hmm. I just think it's so sweet. That just feels so nostalgic to me. Mm-hmm. And then the other, sorry, I got to reach down and get this. The other piece that I was going to start was out of the book that Carolyn Zook made me buy last year when she did a flip through. It was the Craftways Across Stitch Christmas. She just did a flip through of the newest one. I can't wait to buy it because I'm going to buy it. But I thought I'm going to, for my magazine monthly challenge, I'm taking I'm kind of playing with the rules a little bit, and rather than knit from a magazine, I'm going to knit from a book because to me it's the same thing. I have a lot of cross stitch books that I don't stitch in. but I don't stitch anything out of, and I want to. So I'm kind of bending it a little bit, but I'm gonna do these 3. Find it real quick here. Oops, where'd you go? I'm gonna these 3 old world Santas. They're just tiny. They're kind of quirky, like he doesn't have a hat on. I'm going to stitch them side by side. I love them. I don't know why. She calls them, I thought she said they were Scandinavian, but they're not. But they're by Cecilia Turner. And I don't know, I like quirky Santas. So that's going to be my focal piece for Magazine Monthly. And I did part of my haul. I bought a piece of fabric when I went to the store. It's kind of a one-off cut. I think it was like a leftover, and they're just continuing this color, and it is a Zweigert, and it's kind of a dusty rose, but it's long and skinny.
Are you doing the Santas on that?
Yeah, because they're like 2 7/8 by 2 7/8, and I think the one I'm going to put in the middle is 3 by 3.
You know what else would be really pretty on that? Claire from Stitched Lit passed her stash of that. It's a wonderful, what a wonderful world would look really good, I bet, on that long
yeah,
skinny.
that would be beautiful. And this was called Cameo Rose, but they're not, it's discontinued. But they have other pretty pinks. So I just got that. I'll find something. And then I thought I can do the Santas on that. So those 3 are my Jolly July focuses. And then I'll try to get caught up. And then I did think that I would, if I have time this week, work on Things of Summer, work on my biscornu, and maybe on Dreaming Girl.
Yeah, you got to finish that Dreaming Girl.
I know. Well, I really want to start the Secret Garden one that she did, but I don't want to start it until I finish Dreaming Girl. And that is all my plans. I have a little bit of haul, not much.
My plans are, like I showed the stocking. So one of my plans is to just do 1 tree a day. That feels very achievable because I can just do that and then move on to whatever else I want to stitch. And then for July, I had 2 very strange things called. So I put a few things on my Whipco board that were not stitching, or they were like some interesting variation of stitching. So my first Whipco goal that was called was to, I have a favorite children's book illustrator. It's Barbara Cooney, her right here, and she's illustrated some of our very favorite books. One is called Miss Rumpus, and it's darling. It's about a woman who has all these adventures and then she hurts her back. It's a picture book for children, and she's made a promise to her grandpa that someday she's going to make the world more beautiful. And the twist is that when she hurts her back, the year before she had planted some lupin seeds, but then her back was worse again, so she couldn't really get out of bed the next year. And then the next year, she gets out of bed and there's lupin everywhere, like they self-seeded. And so she decided to make the world more beautiful by seeding lupin all around their town. And anyway, it's just really cute, and the pictures are gorgeous. This is one of my other favorites from her. This is a picture book called Oxcart Man, and it's about this farm family and all of the things they do all season. Like, it starts off with him going to town and loading up and selling all the things he's made. But look at these gorgeous illustrations. So I've always had a dream of charting one of these just to personally stitch, not to sell, because I don't have copyright privileges. I'm not even sure I'm supposed to show these. I don't know what the rules are, but
You could show a book.
And look at this. I don't want to stitch this because that looks like just a lot of blues and grays, but they're just so beautiful. But then the pictures at the end are drawn of the family making all the things for him to take the next year. And so he comes home and there's these gorgeous scenes where they're all together using the special things he got. I love this one of the mom and the daughter. She's embroidering or cross stitching, and then the mama's spinning, which I have a dream of learning to spin. But we also were debating, this is the one the girls were voting that I do with them shearing the sheep, because I thought it'd be very pretty to do on a variegated green, like a dyed green fabric, and then do all that white that pops, white and gray. but I'm not sure how to do this. I did find a free like website that does do cross stitch charting, but the problem is it charts that whole background too. So I don't really know how to do it in a way. I don't know. So if you're watching, I'm sorry, I'm so dark too. I'm gonna have to move in a second or something, but if you're watching and you know a solution for me that's, you know, fairly inexpensive, is there a way to take like a photograph or a picture and then, there we go, that's better. And then put it into some kind of program that would allow me to filter out the background and just chart the main picture of the girl and the dad.
Since you just, it charts it for you though, right?
Yeah, but when I charted it, it popped up green.
Can't you just ignore that and just do the?
Maybe, but it was so, yeah, maybe if I had a better program or something, the symbols were really good enough. So charted something like maybe taking a photograph that you've turned into a cross stitch. I know some people will make like pillows out of a special photograph or something. Let me know.
Zook has used Pick to Pat.
So maybe I'll look at that and
I know that's the only one I've heard of.
Because I'm not just looking at just doing like a simple, you know, line drawing kind of thing. It's a little bit more complicated than that.
She took a photograph.
She what?
She took a picture of her dad's shed.
So maybe I will either message her or look at that program to see if that would possibly work. I don't mind paying a little bit of money. I just don't want to spend like a ton on this because I'm not like looking to be a designer. I just have always wanted to stitch one of those to put on my wall because those illustrations are just super meaningful to our family. We've read those books a million times. So then my second goal isn't even a cross stitch goal, it's a knitting goal. So it was weird that they both got called the same month because I would have not picked to have a non-stitching goal month, but that's okay. I have wanted to stitch this for years, and I have blue yarn that I bought a while ago, this beautiful soft halo. I think it might be alpaca. I can't even remember what it is now. I have another skein of it. It's called Late Summer Meadow, and it's a poncho, and I just like love it. I just love it. I think it's so pretty. I love the green too, but I think it would be equally beautiful in the blue.
Oh yeah.
So I had put to work on that 8 hours. It's lace weight, so it's definitely not something I like pick up and automatically feel like it's just total comfort knitting. But I think once I would get going, I would enjoy it. So that's my 2 WIP goals and my Jolly July goal. That's about it. So you said you have a little haul.
Are you just going to focus on those, or are you going to do anything off your wheel or anything?
You know, I've been just sort of randomly picking things that I like working on.
It's summer. Let's just call it. You know how you have summer reading? We have cross stitch, summer cross stitch.
If I kind of work on those goals and then just pull something for the other rest of the evening that I want to work on.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep working on that baby sweater too. That's really easy car knitting because that's a familiar pattern. And so I'm hoping to get that one done maybe by fall.
Yeah. Well, I did have a little bit of haul. I bought this off of Amazon.
Oh, pretty.
It's by that Helen LeBaire. Isn't that who did the other one?
The other one is Veronique something.
Okay. I think I have another one by this gal, but it's not
familiar though.
It's Fairy Tales. And it's not that, it's just a soft pack, so it wasn't terribly expensive, but I love the simplicity in these designs.
That's pretty.
And it's Christmas, but it's not all typical Christmas colors.
Yeah.
And I was just going to point out a couple here that I thought was so pretty. First of all, there's this one.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful? The other one that I really, really love is this.
Oh, those are like, you could leave them up through the winter. They're not like super
right
Christmas.
Oh yeah. And then a couple of the Christmasier ones are her patterns are like little, so she gives you ideas for making them like into little bags. If you can see those little bags.
Oh yeah, that does make me think of that other Christmas.
And other little projects. But she did like this one.
Oh, that's pretty.
Just nature. It's all nature, berries and pine cones, and Then she did this one is kind of cute. With the candy ribbons. And then this one I thought was really unique. It's a Christmas tree, but it's made up of flowers.
Oh, that's beautiful. Wow.
Isn't that pretty?
That's really
So not this year, but some year I'll stitch something out of here. I was just on a wild hair. I needed a comfort. I needed a comfort shop. So I did. And then I went to my Thread Needle Street, get some thread and my floss and that fabric, and I bought myself a Prairie Schooler Halloween. I've never done a Prairie Schooler Halloween. It is so quirky. It's so quirky. And I love this little small.
Yeah. Aw.
And I might just ever only do the little small. But I like this guy too.
Well, I like the pumpkin head too. That's
I know.
Yeah.
Isn't it cute? It's just so delightfully creepy. That was the only pattern that I did buy as a giveaway, but we're not going to show that today because we have a different giveaway. So I just decided to buy some fabric. She had some smaller pieces. I bought Smoky Pearl. This is a Witchel. And then a water lily, which I'm doing something on. I'm doing, I think, my biscornu on a water lily.
That's pretty.
I like the muted
Yeah, I
colors.
think that's a pretty common one. I've seen that. Water lily pop up.
Yeah, that is that. Just to have on hand. I might do my August biscornu on one of those. You never know. But that, I think, is my haul.
I have a little bit of haul this week. So I went to Hobby Lobby because, you know, that's what you do when you're recovering from surgery. I had to run to Costco to get a medication. My thyroid medication was switching over to the long-term one, and I didn't have the kits with me. And I thought, you know what? I need some floss. I needed the floss to finish starting. I wanted to start that stuff. And it was July 1st, and I thought, I'm going in there. I need a few colors of DMC. So I didn't do a ton of shopping, but I did go straight back to the DMC. I got a bunch of the DMC. I got bobbins that were wound up, and then I got another little thing that's kind of a surprise, so I can't show it.
Got a surprise.
For you, but you can show it another time. I have a hard time keeping track of my scissors. They get lost all the time. These are $2 at Hobby Lobby, and they're not great quality. I had one before, and the spring fell out, but for $2,
yeah,
it lasted long enough that I felt like, oh, it's worth it. So I'd really like to be able to pop more scissors into more project bags.
Yes.
So I also bought, where's the other one?
Because you're just snipping.
I also bought this cute pair.
Oh.
Like $5 or something, and here.
They have cute notions at Hobby Lobby.
Here we go. There, now you can maybe see the color on it.
Cute.
I know, and they're really heavy duty and sturdy.
Uh-huh.
Cute. So I got those, and I think that's pretty much everything besides the DMC, which, I actually did get this little kit. Oh, I don't
My
have
other haul. While you're doing that, my other haul.
your DMC.
Does anybody else just love gathering up brand new?
It's like a bouquet of flowers. Do you smell
A
it?
little bouquet, yeah. Possibilities.
They have newly sharpened pencils.
Yeah.
Um,
So you got a kit?
Mail, one of my favorite movies. That's my whole haul.
Did you say you bought? I'm sorry, but I interrupted you. I didn't mean to. Did you say you got a kit or something at Hobby Lobby?
No, I said I got a little surprise for you. So
Oh no! After when I was holding up my floss, you started to say.
I don't remember. Oh,
I didn't mean to.
yeah.
I thought you were done talking about all.
it was a little magnet with needles on it, but I don't have it in here with me. I have the needles in the other room. I forgot them. So that was another.
Oh,
they
okay.
$2 notions off to the side, measuring tapes, and I
Yeah.
was going to poke in there and see if there's anything. Maybe I'm running. They're not great needles. The ones I got, they say tapestry needle, but they're pokey on the end, which is maybe tapestry needles are pokey, but it's working really well for that stocking because I feel like the holes on that are kind of close together, and so they kind of pokes through really nicely. So that's
Okay.
wasn't like a huge haul week or anything, but should we do giveaway and then books?
Yeah.
Anything else? I think that's everything.
Yeah.
So last week, 2 weeks ago when we recorded, we had decided we would give away this old colonial to somebody, And the winner of this one is Candy 614 Stitcher. So Candy, I don't think we have your mailing address, so find our email in the description box and mail us your address, and I will try to get this out sooner rather than later, maybe faster than I usually do. And then we have another giveaway this week. So a while ago, I placed a 123 Stitch order with a gift card that somebody had sent me, which was delightful. And Liddy, each girl picked out their own pattern they wanted to stitch. So Liddy picked out this from Tiny Modernist. She makes such great designs. She loved this. Like, she knew she wanted to stitch this, and I have a feeling she might stitch them in little and put them in little hoops. I kind of think she should do that. But I bought a second copy of it to give away. So today's giveaway is Bees and Honey from Tiny Modernist. And I didn't think of a word.
Honey.
Yeah, honey. Just leave the word honey in your comment somehow. You can tie it in creatively, or you can just say the word honey. That's just the word I will search for when I do the random selection next week. So Bees and Honey, Tiny Modernist, honey. And congratulations to Candy, who went to Colonial. And I need to get Sandy, I know that I have your email address. I got your email or your mailing address, and I will get it to Mom today. I'll forward it on so that we can get our last ones hopefully out in the mail.
I'm sorry. I just pulled up my Kindle app to talk about books in a minute.
Yeah.
On my phone. This does not pop up for me on my Paperwhite, but on my phone app is my library. And then it says, you're on a reading streak. You've read 4 weeks in a row. Keep it up.
Don't stop reading. That tells me how much you weren't reading before.
Apparently.
That was in your Kindle. You want to talk about books?
Okay, so I will real quick. I started listening to one of Sarah's, I don't know if we've talked about that. You talked about.
Yeah, I've linked it before.
Or Craft Lit, but we've either talked about it on here or she's told me about it in person, in private, about another podcast called What Should I Read Next? And I started listening to that this last week while I was working, and she's pretty Dad listened to it, and after a while he said he got a little bored with all the chit chat, but basically she interviews somebody and they chat for a little while about their reading life or their reading history or what, I don't know. I have only listened to a couple episodes. I don't know all the stuff that she does, but the one episode that I listened to all the way through, she was interviewing another guy that has a book podcast. And his is called 3 Books, but I haven't listened to it yet. And he, I think, interviews, like, I don't know how famous she interviews people, but the guy on 3 Books was going to interview Quentin Tarantino.
Okay.
So I don't know if I think he's an author. He has a published book. And anyway, so as I was listening to them, I was looking at listening for some book choices, and I haven't started them, but I was just gonna just throw these titles out because they looked interesting to me. Well, one I've already talked about, The Invisible Husband of Frick Island, which I really want to read soon. Whistling Past the Graveyard. And the other one was The Social Graces, and it's about the Vanderbilt women and the drama and trial and just about that old world, new world, money kind of thing. That looked really interesting. There's another one called Blizzard, which I think it piggybacks off of that book, The Children's Blizzard, that happened in the Midwest, where a bunch of children, I think, I read it years ago, but I think children died or got stuck and survived, some of them on the way home from school in this huge blizzard. And then another one is called Unsettled Ground, and I can't remember what it's about, but another one that looked like an interesting family drama kind of summer read is The Floating Feldmans, and that's about a family that goes on a cruise together. And then if you've watched Dirty Dancing, the movie Dirty Dancing with Patrick Swayze and Jennifer
Grey,
which I loved that movie. Loved it, loved the music to it. I should just watch that again this week. But anyway.
Months ago, Jesse had never seen it. I made him watch it.
Yeah, you hate it?
No, I think he tolerated it. I don't know.
Well, it takes place in the Catskills. In the the Catskill Mountains in the 50s and 60s was the place to go for family vacations, especially if you had money. So there is a book called
Made me think of Mrs. Maisel. Made me think of The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel.
Yes.
It's sort of a similar setting and type, like family camp that you go to all summer to get away. Yeah.
Did you end up going to a camp? Oh, see, I only watched the first season of that show.
Oh, that might be in
Yeah.
the. Yeah, that might be the.
But I know they've likened this book to that show and Dirty Dancing. It's called Last Summer at the Golden Hotel. And I think it's about a family that is going to try to save this hotel in the Catskills. But anyway, so those were just some that I put on, that I bought cheap, but I'm technically still reading Jacqueline Winspear's Maisie Dobbs, and I love it. It's just taken me forever to get through it, and I don't know why. Because I'm not reading very much. Just a little bit at night. So, yeah, what are you reading?
I am reading, well, the first thing I'm reading is called The River by Peter Heller, and I'm listening to it as an audiobook. That's one I got as a recommendation from one of the What Should I Read Next episodes a long time ago. I remembered her talking about this novel. I thought it was maybe a true story, but it's just a novel about these two young guys in college who take a semester off to do this rafting, like a canoe trip in North Canada. And they have all these like intense things that happen. Like they find this woman she's like an attempted murder victim. They sort of are trying to save her all the way down the river, but this wildfire is coming behind them. So there's kind of a time sensitivity. They don't really have time to mess around. And anyway, it's really good. So Anne Bogle from What Should I Read Next had recommended it to one of her podcast guests. And I just remember thinking, man, that sounds fun. She recommended it so highly. His descriptions of nature are beautiful, like just really gorgeous. His description of the fire that they're like dealing with is like terrifying, but in a like not like a, oh my gosh, if you have a trigger with wildfires, like maybe don't read it or listen to it. But so that's the one book I'm reading. It's basically like an outdoor adventure, which is totally different than really anything else. I don't think I've read anything like that.
Yeah.
Sort of survival story, but I'm really enjoying it. My like choices today are super eclectic. I'm also reading Home by Marilyn Robinson. And she's one of my favorite authors. She wrote Gilead, which was really, really popular for a long time. It still is. And this is another one kind of it's not really like a series, but it's sort of like a retelling of events of Gilead from another perspective. Right. It's beautiful. It's a little bit of a prodigal son story. I think I've talked about it before, and I'm loving it. I'm probably about halfway through it, and it's just sort of this slow, philosophical, meandering relationship, and I love it. Mm-hmm. Then the girls and I each recommended books for each other to read through this summer, and Liddy has been asking me to read this one for a really long time. It's called The Girl Who Drank the Moon, and it is phenomenal. It's so good so far. Like, I'm about this far in, like where this, look at this cute bookmark, by the way. It's flattened and printed, and then you tuck it between. I don't know what this Post-it is from. Just take that out. It's sort of, have you read this one?
No.
I would say it's probably, I'm guessing it might be, yeah, okay, this is a good description. An epic coming-of-age fairy tale. Like, it's another fairy tale kind of story. Cool. The girl, there's this sort of terrible town that people live in, and to keep the people under their control, the council makes them sacrifice a baby to the witch in the woods every year. And not to spoil anything, I don't think it's really much of a spoiler because it happens in the second chapter. The witch comes on the scene, and she is a kindly, lovely witch who does live in the woods with the swamp monster. There's all these quirky characters. It kind of makes me think of Diane Wynne Jones, who wrote Dark Lord of Dirkholm and Howl's Moving Castle and some other books. Anyways, it just has this kind of quirky flavor, but the witch does not understand why she finds a baby every year on this same day, but she knows she needs to get to that spot to save that baby. She takes that baby across to a town where somebody adopts it, and they're like celebrated, and the baby is like blessed and like has a happy life. But this town where they all live, where the people live, is just totally under the thumb of these terrible, abusive rulers. Anyway, but there's a character in the town too who's like, I don't want to be here. And it's not what I had no idea what to expect when I picked it up, but it's darling so far, and it's kind of hard to put it down because it's really well written. So if you're looking simple, light, fun fairy tale kind of read. It's geared toward, I mean, I think it's like a young adult, really upper, maybe middle grade reader book, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it as an adult. So
I also am still reading.
Liddy, what? Liddy recommends it. She's standing here. She said, I recommend it.
I'm still reading the other one that Millie loved, Snow and White. No,
Rose.
Snow and Rose. That's my bathroom read. And you guys, when Sarah talked about that book and the illustrations in it, they are stunning. I mean, it is a stunning. It's a
chart up too.
I would do those first. I just think they're beautiful illustrations. And I mean, I'm an adult, but I love having pictures in that book. And I am enjoying it. I just don't get in there very often to read it, or I need to take it out of the bathroom and put it in the living room. But it's not a hard book at all. It's just a matter of time. So, yeah. So I didn't look last time. Did you put a link to the GoodReads in our show notes?
Oh yeah. So I did start a GoodReads, and there will be a link in this video too. I'll just kind of ongoing link it. So if you have book recommendations, email them to me, or you can leave them in the comments here. I'll try to catch them. I know there have been some recommendations in the past, and I've been meaning to go back and look through our comments to find those and add those to the GoodReads. Basically, it's just I'm making like a joint compilation of recommended books from our little cross-stitching. Yeah. So if you love to read and you have a book that you're reading or that you have recently read or whatever that you really think people should read, or maybe not, maybe you just think it's a fun book. Let us know and we'll add it to our little GoodReads list.
Sure.
That's everything I've got.
That's everything I got.
All right. Well, happy for the time.
We might have if we get a chance to record next Sunday, we might have a special guest.
Yeah, that would be fun.
I know. Talking to you, you know who you are if you're watching us.
We're fun. We're fun people. It would be great.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, by this time next week, my child will be married. They'll be on their honeymoon. We'll be dog sitting their chocolate lab that is like a mini horse in my house. But it'll be done. And then
you can stitch to your heart's content.
Yeah. We have some out-of-state company that's going to be here for a few days, so that'll be fun. I think we're going to take them to Pike Place Market. I'm not a big fan of going downtown Seattle, but I would go down there because it's just an iconic place to be. And I think we got a couple other little things planned, but so that'll be fun to do some touristy things with people from out of the area. But yeah, I'll be able to stitch and knit in my house. My yard's looking good, so I don't, just maintenance now for the rest of the summer. I bought plants last Monday at the produce stand because I needed to get down there and get some stuff, but I didn't have time to plant them till yesterday. So they've been sitting in the box. They come in a flat. I had geraniums and I had lobelia and a bunch of some marigolds, and I was sweating keeping those things alive until I could get them in the pot when it's so hot. I was watering twice a day. I would sometimes go out during the day and just miss them because anything in a pot just fries in that kind of heat on it. Yeah. So anyway, they're all potted. I only lost a couple little buds off of a couple of them, so I feel good. I'm not a summer fan. I don't like yard work. When it looks nice, I'm really happy. So anyway, yes, that is about it.
Thanks for joining us today. We love you all, and we're so thankful that you are on this journey with us. So
if you're celebrating the 4th, I hope you have a happy 3-day weekend.
Yes, and happy stitching.
Bye.